Yamaha R3 Blue Crew enters its fourth season in 2024 and its first since receiving World Cup status from the FIM. A 6-date calendar runs alongside selected rounds of the World SBK season, with riders representing 13 different nationalities and aged between 14 and 18, targeting a permanent place in the Supersport 300 World Championship. Pre-season favourite was the number 23 𝗕𝗥𝗨𝗡𝗘𝗟𝗢𝗡. At 15 years of age, but with 7 seasons of riding already in his pocket, as well as the Spanish Supersport 300 title last year, he swept to the fastest times in the pre-season test under the eyes of Superbike stars Remy Gardner and Bradley Ray a week before the Catalonia round. And he did the same in Superpole before taking control of race 1 from turn 4. From there, he was never headed, opening a near 2-second advantage to break from the group on lap 1, and then pulling another second per lap from there to the flag. Instead, the action was between a 10-rider group aiming to finish runner-up. Poland's Dawid Nowak, in his 4th Blue Crew campaign at just 15 years of age, enjoyed his best weekend yet. Technical problems in Superpole left him 10th on the grid, but he charged quickly into the mix, and another Blue Crew veteran, Mallorcan 𝗕𝗥𝗨𝗡𝗘𝗟𝗢𝗡, ranked 6th in the inaugural Blue Crew season and 4th last year, looked the most keen to head the train. Positioning himself carefully down the back straight, he then swept across the path of his rivals into turn 10, a statement of intent ahead of what would prove an entertaining ride. Despite Vic's encouragement to the group to follow in behind him and chase the leader, the longest start-finish straight of the season in Barcelona meant that although he generally headed that train, he consistently fell victim to the slipstream into turn 1. At the start of lap 3, it was the number 88 Eduardo Burr who surged from 5th to 2nd, runner-up in race 2 of last year's Dutch round and keen to repeat the feat. Burr spent last season also racing in the GP 600 class of the Brazilian Championship in his homeland, alongside the Yamaha Cup season, which he finished in 7th. He's set for another busy year ahead. At the start of lap 4, Mark Vick assumed the lead of the group again, squeezing out Burr, who was trapped on the inside and dropped out of the provisional podium places altogether. But just as Vic began to build his rhythm, he made a major error on the penultimate bend of lap 5, running wide through the gravel, doing well to stay on the bike and rejoin, but now 5 seconds down on the podium places and out of the points altogether. And that wasn't the only drama. Japan's Takumi Takahashi side-swiping Australian Cameron Swain at top speed down the start-finish straight, whereupon Tong Don Moon also a victim of the incident, but both riders walked swiftly away from the scene. In such a mammoth slipstream battle, Mark Vick performed the quite incredible feat of recovering 4 seconds in 3 laps to rejoin the group and surge back into the podium places. And he defended that position valiantly on the final lap. With track position, he was vulnerable to attack down the back straight, so he switched to the inside before moving back across to block his attackers into turn 10. A well-worked strategy that left his rivals only one more opportunity to pass him, the run to the finish line. Eduardo Burr charged from 4th to 2nd, Dawid Nowak also coming through, but the pole was demoted to 4th after an earlier infraction down the start-finish straight, and Mark Vick earned just rewards for his astonishing recovery with a place on the podium. But the day belonged to 𝗕𝗥𝗨𝗡𝗟𝗢𝗡𝗟, celebrating an 11-second winning margin in the opening race of 2024.
Today it's a good day. We win the first race of the championship. Do you say the first round in this championship for me in this World Cup? Yeah, I'm so happy. Only I have words to thanks to all the persons who in the precision in the bad moments stay with me. Stay by day. And only thanks for all, for my family, for my father, mother, brother, all the persons who come to the circuit to support me, to my sponsors, and also to my team that have a impresionante trabajo this weekend, and that's it. Thank you.
The first Sunday race for the R3 Cup, and a similar picture at the front. This time 𝗕𝗥𝗨𝗡𝗟𝗢𝗡𝗟 taking control even earlier. Top spot by the apex of turn 1, only a second clear at the end of lap 1, but again he set a sub-2-minute lap 2 and left the rest of the field to race for the 2 remaining spots on the podium. With David Novak and Mark Vick again trading that second place. The contenders were largely the same as they had been 24 hours earlier, with one notable exception. Mario Salas has already demonstrated the clear route to international competition, with a third in the Blue Crew Latin American Championship last year to earn qualification for last year's R3 Super Finale in Portimao. He finished that second on points and earned his place in the World Cup for 2024. 2 fifth places for him in his debut at the Catalonia round. This was typical R3 fare, with a 13 abreast run to turn 1 on lap 7, and it was 2022 Japanese JP250 champion Shona Yamane, now in his second Blue Crew campaign after finishing 8th in the European Championship last year, who stormed through from 11th to 2nd. That position proved short-lived. David Novak recovering P2, Yamane allowing himself to be squeezed out on the outside line and dropping back to 5th behind Dorian Julin, Mario Salas and Nicolas Zanin. Multi-rider pile-up triggered by a collision for Cameron Swain and Pietro Anastasi at turn 5 forced the early abandonment of the race at 7 laps. But it had initially appeared set to continue, with Salas losing second place to Mark Vick, a classic Blue Crew move from 9th at the start of the straight and around the outside onto the racing line into turn 1. Salas also lost out to David Novak into turn 4, the Pole hoping to make up for his race 1 penalty and this time keep his place on the rostrum. Having finished last season with 8 consecutive scoring finishes, he looks to have stepped up another level to become a regular podium contender. And Salas was finally denied his hopes of a top 3 finish, as Zanin and Julin both came through into turn 5. Red flag immediately followed, with the results declared. Mark Vick not making it back to the pits after a crash at turn 7, so he was unclassified, and 15-year-old Czech Zanin was promoted onto the podium on his R3 debut. Almost forgotten at the front, 2023 R3 Super Finale winner Gonzalo Sanchez completing an unbeaten double.
Thank you for all. Thank you. Yeah, in the race 2 I win other time. We do a perfect weekend. This is for the work day by day. That in silence we work a lot in the precision, and this is the result. Thanks for my team that do a very good work. And also for my sponsors, for my family and for Yamaha España to give me this opportunity. Thank you.
So a maximum 50 points for Sanchez, and as the only rider to make both podiums at the Catalonia round, he leaves with a 17-point series lead to Assen for the Dutch round in 4 weeks' time.